us now discuss the concepts of arrays with respect to strings or characters. Basically, we have studied one-dimensional arrays and two-dimensional arrays. But in all those examples, all those fundamentals, all those programs, we have dealt with only a data type called as integer. But there can't be just a data of type integer. There can be a data which can be of type characters. When characters are stored in arrays, we say that as a string. Basically, what exactly mean by the definition of string? A string is nothing but a collection of characters. Whenever you put a set of characters and store them into an array, we call that as string. Where do I use these strings? For example, if I say that I have to store the name of a student, the name of a student will be, say, A, B, C, D. Now, to store this particular content, what I need to do is I need to define a character array. So what I'll do is I'll define char ch of, say, 20. Now what this ch stores? This ch stores a set of maximum 20 characters. To be precise, it will be only 19 characters. As I proceed with this particular video, I'll let you know why 19, why not 20. So what it does is, the first character stored at A, the second character stored at B, the third character stored at C, the fourth character stored at D, and one additional character is added at the end of this particular string called a string termination character, and the rest all will be garbage values. What this particular string termination character will be, how it looks, and where do I use this particular string termination character for my purpose, that we'll see as we proceed with this particular video. So whenever the information comes not as integer but as a set of characters, in that case it is always advisable to store them as characters rather than as values. So I can quote any number of examples. Like, for example, if I ask you to store the name of your college, it will be a set of characters. When I ask you to store the address of your college or address of your residence, that will be again a set of characters. There can be some inputs which can contain only a single character. There can be some characters, some strings which can contain multiple characters. If it is a single character, then it is always advisable to store in a character variable rather than a character array. For example, if I ask you, what is the grade which you obtained in your last semester? Now, the grade which you obtain in the last character will not be a set of alphabets, it will be only a single alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, O. But when I ask you what branch you opted for, the branch will not be a single character, the branch will be now a set of characters. So whenever the information goes as a set of characters, at that time we use these character arrays. So basically, your string is nothing but a collection of characters. Now, those characters can contain a blank space, may not contain a blank space. So let us move on to the fundamentals of this particular string. What are the various things which you should know before we proceed with the programming of this particular strings? So the very first thing which I am supposed to know is how to declare a character array. So as usual, I have to declare a character array by saying char ch or char c of 20. So here your c is said to be a collection of how many characters? 20 characters. So c has got a storage space for 20 characters. It means that the memory storage of this is 20 bytes. Because when I say 20 characters, each character is going to occupy how many bytes? 1 byte. So it will be 20 characters altogether. The very first character is now referred with identification as C of 0. The second character is identified as C of 1. The third character as C of 2, and so on till C of 19 if it is 20th character. So the memory allocation is going to be sequential. The reading process and the displaying process is much more easier in this particular strings. When I ask you to read integer values, in that case I use a for loop for a one-dimensional array. If I ask you to read integer values for a two-dimensional array, then I use a nested for loop. But here we just use a simple scanf instruction or a getS instruction, which are a part of a header file called as stdio.h. So now, question comes, why two methods? What are the limitations of this particular method? When I ask you to read a string using scanf, how the values are read, and when I ask you to read a string with getS, how the values are read. Let us consider input as, say, A, B, C, D. If I read the input using scanf, then scanf will store the first character as A, second character as B, third character as C, fourth character as D, and the last character is appended as /0, that is null character. we call this /0 as a string termination character. String termination character. So basically, we use this string termination character to identify the input and the garbage. Anything which appears before /0 is always the input, and anything which appears after /0 is your garbage input. Now what if I use getS? getS will still store the string in this fashion itself. So it says A, B, C, D and /0. So probably with this example, I didn't notice any difference between scanf and getS. Now let me take the input in this fashion. If the input goes as say AB space CD, what scanf does? Now scanf stores A, B and then it stops reading this particular string. It means that scanf will not read the string beyond the first blank space. It will identify a blank space or a new line character as a termination character. In the previous example, the enter key was hit after D, but in this example, I have placed a space bar before I press the enter key. Whichever comes first, it will stop the operation at that place. So AB is going to stop the reading process after storing this particular AB, and then it appends a null character, and then it will not store anything beyond this. So if I use getS, how the instructions are going to be read. So if it says that A, B, and then it stores a blank space, then C, and then a D, and then even it appends a null character. So getS and scanf will have some difference in this particular instruction. So whenever you feel that the input is going to have a space bar or a space character, then in that case it is always advisable to store or read it using a getS instruction. And if the input is going to be just a string without any blank space, then you can go for scanf. You'll find one more important difference with this particular scanf as compared to normal scanf. You don't have ampersand symbol with this particular C. What is this particular absence of ampersand symbol indicates? Whenever we have these characters, whenever I wish to read a character, I will store it into a character variable. A variable is referred by its name, and the address of that variable will be referred by its ampersand symbol. But when I say that it is an array, the name of the array itself indicates the address. So here, your C already indicates the address. Actually, C has got two conventions. The first convention says that C is the name of the array where you want to store the string. And when I say ampersand of C, it means that it is the address of a variable. But here, C, is it a variable or an array? It's an array. So when it's an array, I can't use ampersand symbol with an array notation, because as per the conventions of array, the identifier used to indicate the array indicates two things. One, it indicates the name of the array. The other thing, it indicates the address of that particular array. So however, with scanf, I need to provide the address. And in this particular instruction, C indicates the address of this particular array. Hence, the address is already provided with C. If I put ampersand of C, what that indicates? It indicates address of address. And we don't have anything called as address of address. If I ask you to search anyone's home, what will you do? You'll say that I want to go to this particular address. Do you remember one more address to locate that particular address? No. We don't remember address to locate the address and then to locate the person. We just remember the address. Hence, at this particular place, C already stores the address. When it already stores the address, not necessary for us to associate any ampersand symbol. Right? getS, just put the bracket, and within that bracket, put the name of the array. So, whenever a string has to be read using with blank spaces, then getS is preferred. Without blank spaces, you can go for scanf instruction. Clear? Okay. Now let's go ahead with displaying the string. How to display the contents of a character array? When I say that I'm supposed to display the contents of a character array, I can use again two instructions, printf or puts. So I can now define a character array. Suppose if I have a string, say A, B, C, D. If I ask you to display particular contents which are stored in C using %s, what it does? This printf will display A, B, C, D and leaves the cursor on the same line. And if I ask this to be printed using puts, what it does is it will print A, B, C, D and takes the cursor automatically to the next line. This is how we display these contents of character array. right? So contents of this particular character array. So here we were saying how exactly these contents are displayed. So I have said printf will display the contents of a string and leaves the cursor on the same line, whereas putf will display the contents of a string and place the cursor on the next line. But how this printf identifies these contents? So what it does is your printf now uses the /0 which has been appended at the end of the string. So what printf does is it will display the contents of character array one by one till it finds a null character. It will take the contents of a character array and displays it one by one, character by character. Every time before it displays, it checks, is that /0? If not, go to the screen. If /0, stop that particular string. If I say that I need to string this particular part, so A is displayed as it is because it's not /0, B is displayed, C is displayed, D is displayed. When it finds /0, what it does? It will stop this particular string. So it means that the /0 symbol or the null character symbol, we call this as a null character. /0 indicates a null character. In general words, it is called as a string termination character. The string termination character is automatically added by scanf and getS to identify that this is my valid input and this is my garbage input. But for whom? This is for printf instruction. So printf what it does is it will go and keep on fetching the characters till it finds a /0. When it finds a /0, it will stop displaying the contents automatically. What if, now you can think, what if this /0 would have been not appended by getS? In that case, printf would have displayed all the characters on this particular screen itself. The string termination character which is appended by the getS or scanf instruction is used effectively by the printf and putS instruction. So we stated one difference, that putS will get the cursor on next line, printf will leave the cursor on the same line. Apart from this, there are some minor differences which you're supposed to remember with printf as well as putS. With printf, probably we say that the contents of an array or of multiple array can be displayed. You can, if I have two arrays, ch1, ch2, I can display both the arrays on this. But if I have putS, I can display only one string. With putS, you can display only messages or contents. But with printf, I can display the contents or only messages or even a combination. Suppose I want to say the output is and then this particular value. Or if I say putS, I can only display the contents. The output is. After that, I can't display the contents. I have to write one more putS for that. But in this, I can say the output is %s, c. So difference between printf and putS are, first, printf after displaying the contents takes the cursor to the next line. putS leaves the cursor on the same line. With printf, you can display multiple arrays. With printf, you can display multiple arrays. With putS, you can display only single array. With printf, you can display message as well as an array content. But with putS, you can either display a message or either a content. Right? Okay. So that's how we display the contents of a string. Now let's move on to the next fundamental, that is how to initialize a character array. There are multiple ways of doing initialization of character array. If you don't want to read a character array, you want to take an example assuming that this are the contents. In that case, what I can do is I can say initialize character by character. Char C of 20, first character was a C of 0 is A, next C of 1 is B, C of 2 is C, C of 3 is /0. If you do it character by character, /0 has to be appended manually. You have to put this particular character. If I say this way, double quotes, in that case, this will be automatically appended. So when I say this, all will store ABC. And even if I ignore this particular size, when you ignore the size, the contents of this particular character array are automatically calculated and then the size is decided in this place. Here, the size is going to be 4. Now you might have thought that why I said 19 characters when I have 20 characters. When there is a space of 20 characters, but still it is advisable to append only 19 characters. Why? Because this C will append one additional character on its own, that is /0. Hence we say that it is always supposed to be only one character less than the size of this particular array. Now let's move on with the last fundamentals of this particular array. How do I trace the entire array? How do I visit every element of this particular character array? If I have a one-dimensional integer array, I can do it very easily by saying 0 to n minus 1. Because I know the total number of values are n. If it is a two-dimensional array, I know from I 0 to m minus 1, j 0 to n minus 1. But when it is character array, you don't know the number of characters. You have just asked enter your name. You can't ask a question in this fashion. please enter the number of characters in your name. I'll read that as say n and then enter your name. So in that case, every time a text has to be counted manually and then do that. Rather than that, why don't we initialize, why don't we now design a loop which will work in a unique manner. Now, let me take an example. I have initialized a string called as char ch of 20 with A, B, C, D, E. Now, let me put this particular ch for you. I have a char ch of 20 where I have stored ch of 0 with A of 0, that is A, ch of 1 with B, ch of C with B, ch of next value as B, ch of next value is E. Now, why don't we design a loop which will work uniquely? What information do I have in this particular part? I know the index of the first location. What is the index of the first location? 0. So this is the index of the first location. And then, what else I know at this place? I don't know the index of the last character, but I know the contents of the last character. What are the contents of last character? The last character is /0. Why don't we run a loop which will start with an index, go till the contents of character array which are not equal to null. Observe this. I'll say for, you have to start with the index called as I equals to 0. Till what value of I? Do you know the index of the last character? No. I know the content of this particular last character. What is the name of the character array? The name of the character is ch. So I'll say start with I equal to 0 and keep on traversing, keep on visiting every element till ch of I is not equal to a null character. From I equal to 0, go till ch of I not equal to null and then say I++. That's it. The contents of this particular character array can be visited one by one. Now, suppose inside this, if I say printf %c, comma, say ch of, say I. Let's check whether it will visit every element or not. Now, see, when I is 0, print ch of I, that is A is displayed on screen. Then I go back to I++, I will become 1. ch of 1, is it not equal to null? Yes, ch of 1 is not equal to null, so it will print B. Go back, I becomes 2, ch of 2 not equal to null. Go back, 3, ch of 3 not equal to null. Go back, 4, ch of 4 not equal to null. Go back, I++ becomes 5. ch of 5 not equal to null? No, ch of 5 is actually null. So we stop this particular part. Do you feel that this particular for loop has now visited every element of a character array? When I go in the programming concept, I'll be using this particular for loop. So this for loop has been framed with two indications. The first indication was the first character starts with 0. The last character index was not known, but we know that the last character has got a content as null character. So why don't we design a loop which will start with index and go with the contents till it finds a null character. So I'll start with index called as I equal to 0, ch of I not equal to null, I++. So automatically the contents are now read and stored internally. Or if you can use, you can store storage, you can display, you can do all operations of your choice whenever you want to do this particular character. So whenever we go into programming part, this is the one which you're supposed to remember. Even if I say that reading and displaying were pretty easy, this is the one which is unique and this is the one which you're supposed to go with the contents of character arrays. So that's it about the concepts of fundamentals. So I advise you to watch this particular video at least twice or thrice before we go ahead with the programming concept. Because once we start the programs, at that time, we will not be saying what exactly this particular for loop is for, how this particular for loop has been framed, what are the basic concepts of this particular for loop. Especially concentrate on this particular last fundamental, that is how to visit the characters elements, so that it will be easy for us when we move on to the programming concepts. That's it. Thank you.